como yo no me dio hoy, como yo me dio a mí que eso, que como un contador de primer hermano de Dios, yo le dije a Gol, que a ver, con el ejército de 100.000 pesos, que va a ir en el papeleo de eso. Muchas veces ya, y de ellos, yo lo meto como
another week in Babylon. Are we good? Let's say giving all praise to Yahawah, the Father, Wah, Yahawashi, the Son. Let's give a double honor to the elders of GMS, honor to the Akim. Peace and blessings to your brothers and sisters that listen to Hopeful Elect. Right? We out here week in and week out, prophesy against Babylon, America, edify people on what's going on. It's been a crazy week this week, man. Did the video on the stock market, man. Okay, so they're gonna crash that economy, crash the system, and then bring forth that RFID chip. I think there's a pause festival for the RFID chip in Australia this month. I have to look it up. All right, but these are all the signs of the times, man. That's why the Most High said to seek him while he may be found. Okay, because his wrath is being poured upon America. I'm gonna stop with them precepts in a minute. And when this system fall, boy, when that economy crash, all hell gonna break loose out here, man. That's why they're ready to militarize the police. You get the next first precept. Amos chapter 9 verse 8. See? The Walking Dead, man.
Hey, my friend, how are you?
Good.
Do you know where CNN building is?
CNN, no.
No. All right, thank you.
Sorry about that. Amos 9 and 8. It says, behold, the eyes of the Lord power are upon the sinful kingdom. What is the sinful kingdom? America, man. AKA Babylon. This is that sinful kingdom, man. This is where all you nations come to. This is where you Israelites are being held captive, man. This is where all that sexual perversion is promoted. It's in America. Alright? You read on. Behold, the eyes of the Lord power upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth. And that's how we know that's talking about now, man. Because this place is going to be destroyed in the Third World War, World War III. The scripture says America, which that was happening this week, is beginning to make war with the kings of the east, which I'm going to read that right after this. And I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saying that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith the Lord. And what's the house of Jacob? You Negroes, Hispanics, and you Native Americans, through the line of your fathers, man. Okay? There's no such thing as a mixed seed. Everything is based on the line of your forefathers, man. And also is based off the prophecies as well. Okay? And the Most High said he's going to destroy this place from off the face of the earth. Because America's evil, man. And the way it was built off of rape, robbery, or murder, and iniquity, sin upon sin. Okay? Read Revelation chapter 16 verse 12. But here's some other precepts as well, man. You know, we're going to preach to the wind. Revelation 16 verse 12. And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, which is in Iraq, which that was ancient Babylon. Right? And the water thereof was dried, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. Prepared for what? Prepared for war, man. Syria, Iraq, Iran, North Korea, Russia. Those are the kings of the east. They all get prepared for what? For war, man. That's why America's over there. That's why America got turmoil with Turkey now, man. And Turkey was supposed to be one of their allies. And now it came out on the news, they not only in Syria to overthrow Assad, man. They're over there for their resources, man. And now they're trying to control the Mediterranean. Alright? Because why? The scripture says what? Revelation chapter 16 verse 12. And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates. And the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. Prepared for what? War. Okay? World War III. That's why the scripture says, Revelation, the 9th chapter. Revelation chapter 9. Which that whole Revelation 9th chapter had that idiot Mr. Kim talking about that the 7 levels of hell. You an asshole, man. Excuse my French, man. Put down the Bible, man. This is not given to the wise and the prudent. It's given to babes or basemen. Okay? Revelation the 9th chapter was going into World War I. And Napoleon was that Kaiser, man, killed Kaiser, can't remember his name. He's the one who tricked the Germans in believing that they would win the war. He was that Apollyon, man. I think it was William Kaiser II or the first. Okay? That's who Apollyon, the bottomless pit, is Europe, man. Because that's where the beast came from. The dragon was the Roman Empire and the beast is NATO. And they came out of the bottomless pit, Europe. And they devoured all nations. Okay, that's what that's talking about, man. Revelation chapter 9 verse 11. In fact, before I read that, Psalms. A lot of people can't understand this book, man. Because it's why it's written in parables. Psalms chapter 70, 8 verse 2. I will open my mouth in a parable, which is a dark saying or an extended metaphor. Alright? But it told as an allegory, but it has some sort of deep moral meaning in it. Alright? I will open my mouth in a parable and will utter dark sentences of old, which we have heard and known, and our fathers have told us. Because the scripture says what? You once knew this. That's why we come out here to stir up your pure minds. Bring you back to what? The ways of remembrance, man. Are we in the time of prophecy now, man? He will not hide them from their children, showing to the generations to come to the praises of Yahawashi and his strength and his wonderful works that he hath done. For he established a testimony in Jacob and appointed a law in Israel, the Israelites, which he commanded our fathers that they should make known to their children, man. Okay? But the scripture says the fathers went to sleep. Okay? But according to the scriptures, Revelation, the 11th chapter, after that 3 days and a half, the breath of life will enter into them. That's when we're able to understand the book. And to take it even deeper, Yahawashi, who you English call Jesus Christ, a black man according to the Bible, unsealed the book. Alright? We come out here to cast down all your strongholds, man. And like I was reading, Revelation, the 9th chapter, America's going into this third world's war, man. Ain't no stopping it, man. The plagues are not slack. You read on. Revelation chapter 9 verse 11. And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit. I just told you that, William Kaiser, the first or the second. Kaiser means king. It says, bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue, its name is Apollyon. Read on, it says, one woe is past, and behold, this is the point, 2 woes more hereafter. So 1 world war already passed, man. Let's look up that word woe. Find it. That's what people don't think is BS. So what they have here, grief, regret, or distress. Alright? With the death, oh death. Alright? That's what woe means, man. And that also means what? War, man. And the scripture says, and read again, Revelations chapter 9 verse 10, verse 11. And they had a king over them, which already said his name, William Kaiser, the first and second, which the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek his name is Apollyon, which means what? Destroyer. Read on. Verse 12. One woe is past, a war. And behold, there come 2 woes more hereafter, man. The Second World War already came out, which Hitler, which we already brought the quote out, said that the Oriental or the Negro from the East is the real Jew, man. That's what he said, man. And he said the so-called Jews, the Illuminati, will keep this secret at all costs. He told his soldier that in his bunker before he died, man. And that German historian brought it out. That came out in 1968, which is now coming out now. Because we at the end time. That's why the scripture says, Psalm 64 verse 8. So we in the time of the Third World War, man. And some other topics I want to hit as well. Okay? Now ain't the time to be trusting in carnal things, man. Now is really the time to trust in Yahawah and Yahawashi. Because the elites of the society, they're playing with that stock market, man. And when you go into the previous 2 crashes, in 1987 and 1929, they both happened like around the fall time. Around October. So now is the time to watch and pray. Okay, watch for these signs, man. There's been numerous earthquakes, natural disasters. Okay, signs in the sun, signs in the moon, signs in the economy, and of course, not only is there wars and rumors of wars, we're coming into the final war. And of course, that Rfid chip. All right. Psalm 64, verse 8. says, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. And who's this talking about? Verse 1. Hear my voice, O Most High, in my prayer. Preserve my life from fear of the enemy. And who's our enemy? Read Deuteronomy the 28th chapter. Read Psalms the 83rd chapter, which goes into the multiple nations, starting with Esau, the first one. Edom, which is quote unquote the so-called white man today. Who's the wicked, who's ruling the earth in wickedness. Okay? We're at the time of his latter end. And the way he's going to go out is with thermonuclear destruction. And you Negroes, Hispanics, and you Native Americans that can't hear this song being played, you're going to taste that fire too, man. Because a lot of you don't surpass the deeds of the wicked. Okay, the majority of the Bible is the Most High cursing out the Israelites, man. From the Old Testament all the way to the New, man. Like Yahawashi said, I'm going to read Matthew 25. Matthew 25. Matthew 25. I'm going to jump down to Matthew chapter 25, verse 12. But he answered and said, verily I say unto you, truly, I know you not. Watch therefore, for ye know not, neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man cometh. So we don't know the day or the hour, but we do know the season. Because why? He gave you signs in the sun, the moon, and he gave you the prophecies, he gave you the book, he gave you the comfort, man. Okay? This is that time, man. Because the two final prophecies, like we always go into, is the Third World War and the Rfid Egypt, the mark of the beast. Third World War is already brewing. Okay? Trump is going to bring this country down fast, man. If you can't see that, good riddance. Alright? You're going to go down with it. The Lord ain't looking for you, man. The Lord is looking for men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Ezekiel the 9th chapter. Verse 30, 31. When the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, or the chariots, what the English call UFOs, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory. And before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divided his sheep from the goats. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand. Who's the sheep? The children of Israel. Okay? That's what he said, go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Okay? Because our people are the lost sheep. And that's what the Most High set up the prophets, who are the shepherds. Alright? We read on. It says, but the goats on the left. And who's the goat? Let me read Daniel 8 chapter real quick. We'll jump back. Daniel chapter 8, verse 6. Daniel chapter 8, going into the four kingdoms. We start at verse 1. Start from 1. Daniel chapter 8 verse 1. In the 3rd year of the reign of King Belshazzar, a vision appeared unto me, even unto me Daniel, after which appeared unto me at the first. And I saw in a vision, it came to pass when I saw, I was at Shushan, and the palace, which is the province of Elam, which are the so-called East Indians today. And I was in a vision, and I was by the river of Elah. Then I lifted up my eyes and saw, behold, there stood before the river a ram, which had 2 horns, and the 2 horns were high, but one was higher than the other, and the higher came up last. Was that going into the Persians and the Medes? The Medes are the so-called Japhites, your Indonesians, your Polynesians, your Samoans, your Aborigines, okay? Those are the so-called Japhites. They were in Europe first. The Medes also means Madiah, all right? One of the sons of Japheth, Genesis, the 10th chapter. Anyway, let's read on. It says, but the Persians, the Iranians, overtook them eventually, okay? That's what it means, man. The Persian and the Mede Empire. It says, and I saw the ram pushing westward and northward and southward, so that no beast might stand before him. Neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand. But he did according to his will and became great. Now as I was considering, behold, and he goat, this I just read in Matthew the 25th chapter, Yahawashi said he's going to put the goats on the left. Daniel is breaking down who that goat is. Came from the west of the face of the whole earth, and touched not the ground. And the goat had a notable horn between his eyes, which is who? Alexander the Greek. Okay, who took down the Persians and the Medes, man. Lightning, all right? Took down those nations like that, man, quick. And he came to the ram that had the 2 horns, which I seen standing before the river, and ran unto him in the fury of his power. And I saw him come close unto the ram, and he moved with the clover against him, and smote the ram, and brake his 2 horns. And there was no power in the ram to stand before him, but he cast him down to the ground, and stamped upon him, and there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand. It says, therefore the he-goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken, and for he came up 4 notable ones toward the 4 winds of heaven. So that's going into his 4 generals, all right? Antigonus, Lysimachus, Seleucus, and Ptolemy. Okay, and out of Seleucus came Antiochus Epiphanes. So he's that he-goat, which is Edom, man. All right.
Let's show you, lady.
That's an Edomite right there, man. This guy talking to a dog like it's an actual, wow, like it's an actual woman, man. Talking about young lady, man. That's a, yo, Esau is crazy. That's why Job said he didn't want them amongst he wouldn't even have them amongst his dogs. Okay, so Job was not an Edomite, man. That's another thing I'm gonna tackle right after this, man. Anyway, we read back from Matthew the 25th chapter. Matthew 25. Verse. You jump back. It's 24. And read it again. Matthew 25, verse 32. So I broke down the goat. And before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divided his sheep from the goats. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, the elect of the Israelites, and the goat on the left. Who's the goat? Esau, Edom. And those who follow him, man. Those are what? Corrupted by his new world order. The image of the beast, man. And those that take his mark. You're going to be on the left. They're going to share the same judgment and his fate. Read on. Then shall the king say unto them, Yahawashi, on his right hand, come ye, blessed of my father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. So the kingdom was already prepared for us, man. That's what said, fear not, little flock, is my father good pleasure to give you the kingdom, man, which is power and rulership in the earth and the universe. Scripture says we're going to be over angels in the world to come. But we got to work. We got to look like a fool for Yahawashi's sake. All right? We got to be against all odds, man. We got to be against this current world and its wicked setup. You read on. For I was hungry. That's pretty much the point on that, man. The goat's going on the left and the elect going on the right. The goat is starting with who? Esau, man. And those who follow him. They're going to be burned with fire, nuclear fire. And the fire coming from the chariots. You're going to taste the wrath of Yahawah, Yahawashi. You're going to drink that cup without mixture. That's why it says, Revelation the 14th chapter. Revelation chapter 14. Revelation chapter 14. Revelation chapter 14, verse 8. And they followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, which is not, it's talking about America, man. It's not talking about ancient Babylon. It's not talking about the Vatican City. It's not talking about that, man. It's talking about America. This is Babylon, or the place of confusion. And it's evident now, okay? It's overwhelming evidence, man. This place is definitely the Babylon that America, that the Bible is talking about. Okay, everything that's perverse or abnormal or evil is celebrated in America, and it's also known for its bondage, its draconian law, man. And this is where the Israelites is currently at, the majority of them. This is where all you nations come here to do business, man. And it took on the philosophies of ancient Babylon. That's why you celebrate its holidays. Okay, it's Christmas and it's Easter that's coming up. Alright? It says, and they followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all the nations drink of her wine of the wrath of her fornication. And what's her wine? Her so-called democracy, man. A new world order. Okay? Because they gave you the license to sin. Alright? It's just a big freak show, man. And everybody come here to get drunk. And our people have literally lost their minds in this place, man. Alright? Read on. Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all the nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And the third angel followed him, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast, which is NATO, okay, just went into his so-called philosophy, and his image, which is his new world order, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand. And that's the chip, the RFID chip, man. So already got in Sweden, Australia, right, different parts of Europe. They already got in that company over here in America, man. So that's going to be the new monetary system that they're going to set up. See, they was playing with that stock market this week, and they're going to crash it, man. And normalcy is going to cease in this place, man. All this walking up and down, this carefree attitude, what you see these individuals doing out here, man, that's going to stop, man. There's going to be chaos in the streets, man, when that economy collapses, man. When the dollar that you niggas sell out for crashes, man, because it crashed many times before. It was supposed to crash in '08, but they pumped more money into the system. Which is what? You just created a big old bubble of debt. Now you what, $20 trillion in debt? That's worse than the Great Depression, man. And the way America beat the Great Depression was due to World War II. But you're going to lose this war, because it's going to be a nuclear war. Alright? And Yahawashi is going to make sure of it, man. Why? Because it is written. Let's read on. It says, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and the presence of the Lamb, man. They never bring them scriptures out in these churches, man. Them wicked ass preachers, man. They never talk about the second coming. They don't go into Revelation. They don't talk about no prophecies, current events. It's just all about prosperity. Okay, the prosperity comes in the kingdom, man. Destruction is coming on this side, man. And they also gonna taste that wrath as well, because you guys are Judas goats. Alright? And you got a lot of Israelites teaching lies too, man. Making sport of the Lord's Passover, man. And also, pretty much you drugged their congregation by teaching them what? Lies and deceit, man. Misleading the flock, man. It says, and the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, age after age. And they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whoso receiveth the mark of his name. Okay? Go, man. So Yahawashi ain't playing games, and the Most High ain't playing games. Alright? And that scripture's talking about America, man. Babylon, man. And if you ain't doing the will of the Most High, you're going to taste that wrath. And we in the time of that wrath. We in the time of great despair and destruction. That's what the scripture says, to speak in the ears of my people prophets. Okay? Let me get the book of 2nd Ezra. Second Ezra chapter 2. Good scripture. Second Ezra chapter 2. Right. Second Ezra chapter 2, verse let me see. It's a long chapter. Start with verse 4. What shall I say now to do unto you? I am a widow and forsaken. For your weight, O my children, and ask merely of the Lord. As for me, O Father, I call upon you for a witness over the mother of these children, which will not keep my covenant, the Israelites, that thou bring them to confusion and their mother to a spoil, and there be no offspring of them. And that happened to us. Let them be scattered abroad among the heathen. So even Ezra said that the Israelites were scattered, man. We are scattered all the way to America. I mean, a lot of times we read Deuteronomy 28:68. I'll finish with Ezra. But verse 64 lets you know that, man. Because not only did some of them curses happen in the land of Israel, most of them happen on this side. Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 64. I'm going to jump back to Ezra. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people. That's a curse. From one end of the earth even unto the other. So we were on the east and he brought us here to the west, man. That's a cold cut, man. Let me jump back to 2nd Ezra. 2nd Ezra chapter 2. Verse 7. Let them be scattered abroad among the heathen